Welcome back to the Perek Project. I'm Gila Ross, host of the Power Up podcast, and over the last few months, we've been looking at Pirkei Avot, the ethics of the fathers. And we're looking at how the wisdom that is written in this part of the Talmud has such meaningful and relevant lessons for our lives. One of the things that I really love doing is looking at the stories that we may have heard as children, but looking at them with fresh eyes as an adult. And I'm really excited to share this upcoming episode with you. Let's start by dispelling a myth. The Torah is filled with stories. However, it is not a history book. If you look through it, things are chronologically out of order. And there are significant details that are missing, including significant parts of the main characters' lives. So what is the point of it if it's not a history book? It is called Torah Chaim. It is an instruction manual for life. And what that means is that if anything made the cut and made it into the Torah, it means it's there because it has something to teach us even today. It's relevant to our lives today. Otherwise, it wouldn't have made the cut. With that in mind, let's look at the 10 generations between Adam and Noah. The Torah lists the 10 generations between Adam and between Noah. Why? What can we possibly learn from that information? It lists it because to teach us the patience of God. We often think of God, sometimes we think of God as this great big guy in the sky who's ready to hit us the moment we step out of line. But this tells us differently. Why? Because those 10 generations between Adam and Noah, they were wicked, and God waited patiently for those 10 generations until he brought the flood. In Noah's time, he waited patiently and he gave them an opportunity to repent. But just in case we think, and sometimes we can see this, we see someone who's very wicked and we wonder, why is there no justice? Why does it seem that that person is not getting repaid for their wicked things? We have to understand that eventually there will be justice. God is exceedingly patient, but we shouldn't worry because we should understand and know that there is justice in this world. And we see a similar pattern between Noah and Abraham. Again, the Torah lists 10 generations between Noah and Abraham. And again, it's teaching us that God has patience with us. Because if you think about it, God destroyed the world, and the people afterwards, they knew about the catastrophe that came because people messed up. And God built them a new world, and God gave them the opportunity to use their free will and fill that world with goodness. But generation after generation after generation, they messed up and they messed up and they messed up. And God had patience. And God also had the patience to allow those wicked people to have righteous descendants, because eventually came Abraham. And Abraham was so righteous, he was so great that he accomplished what those 10 generations didn't. He was able to discover God and bring and implement God's will in that world. And his reward as a result of that was immense. He received the reward for all of them. Also, if you think about it, someone who comes after 10 generations of wickedness and is able to turn themselves around, wow, that's a real accomplishment. And Abraham got a huge reward for us. So while it seems like a technical detail, these 10 generations between Adam and Noah and between Noah and Abraham, again, we learn something so profound. We learn that there is justice in the world, but God has patience with us. And just like Abraham, who was able to turn himself around after coming from 10 generations of wickedness, no matter how deep or dark a person is in, there is always an opportunity to pull ourselves out from us, and God gives us the patience to do that. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you benefited from it, please subscribe to hear future episodes.